welcome to Elemental Movement and Food. And today I'd like to teach you how to sit to stand and to take every opportunity that you have throughout the day to sit to stand with more ease, and how we can nourish the body and enliven it every time we take those opportunities. Usually at the end of the day, I just kind of crash down, but what I'd like to do is teach you to feel confident and to be aware of sitting and standing and how it can nourish every ligament, tendon, joint, and muscle in the body. The other thing I'd like to do is connect you with 4C principles that we have with elemental movement and food. And the first one is connect. So we're going to connect with our base of support. We always want to think what's touching a surface or ground. That gives us security. That makes us feel safe, and then we're able to move with more choices and with more comfort. I don't want to sit and grip and feel uncomfortable. All right, so we're going to take our position that we finished off with this sitting position. I'm going to sit, and I want to make sure that my toes are pointed directly towards you. You could bring your feet in a bit closer if you're feeling safe and you're feeling connected, or you can go further away if you feel like you need more support. You also can go a little wider with your legs if you need to feel comfortable. What I'd like you to do is connect and be aware of your bones, especially the feet touching the ground and the bum. Can we go 25, 25, and 25%? And be aware of the ground touching your feet, but also be aware of the surface touching your glutes and you suspending, and just allow your base of support to hammock you. Now, what I want to do is be aware of these big, gigantic femurs. This is the biggest bone in your body, and it will be our mover from sit to stand. So from here, let's just take off from where we left off with sitting. I'm going to take these bones, and I want to transfer them over the middle of my foot so I can feel the pressures in the middle of my foot. And all of a sudden, my pelvis lifts up, my rib cage lifts up, and my head lifts up. And then I go to my toes, and then I slowly come back. I don't want to use momentum. I don't want to decide where I want to go. I want my feet to take the rest of my body. So my feet are planted here. I'm now transferring my weight, sliding over my feet, over the middle foot, the toes, and I can feel and sense, and I'm aware of my bones moving. The leader will be these femurs going over the middle of the foot and the toes. Now I want to slowly slide back. I want to be aware of the forces of the bones. So this big, gigantic bone, I do not want jammed back in this position. So I don't want the force going back to my low back. I want the force to go forward, not by moving my pelvis, but by moving these femurs. Excellent. So now what I'd like to do is learn, we talked about in our seated position, how we can take an opportunity to work the long bones. So the long bones are the femurs, your shin bone, and your calf bone. And what they are meant to do is to push down into the ground. When I say push, I'm wrong. You don't want to grip and press down. You want to sink and surrender to the ground so I can feel a really nice base of support. But if I'm gripping, I can't move. So I just want to sink in and move around and feel comfortable, knowing that I can transfer my weight from one foot to the next. Now your arms are also long bones. So if I can get you to imagine that you have one long bone, forget the forearm bones, and just one long bone, and almost imagine it to be like a cane. I'm going to put my hands on my surface. Now, if you have a chair, it doesn't matter where you're at. Just try to place your hands on a surface. If you have to place them on your body, go ahead. Now, see if you can feel this. I want to take my arm long bones, my two tent poles, and I want to push them down into the ground. So I'm going 6 inches down into the ground. We call this a seated push-up. It really should be a seated push down. So my arms go down. My upper body doesn't really lift off. It stays connected. Now what I'd like to do is transfer my weight from one hand to the next. I can feel the strength of my tent poles. And then everything else, so the tent poles are your bones, and everything else is fabric. My fabric is sliding over the tent poles. So that's that analogy I gave you on our first video of sitting, where we are a tent, and in this tent image, the poles are your bones, and everything else is fabric. I'm pushing the bones down through the ground, getting a great support system. And I can feel, as I push the bones down into the ground, I can feel the fabric move. Now with this analogy, if the tent poles are crooked, it doesn't matter how strong I am in the fabric. I'm starting off faulty. I need to find that center, but I don't want to take the pole and push it into an upright position and keep it there. That pole moves around and the fabric will follow with it. All right, so if you are new to sit to stand, let's use our arms. So what I'm going to do is put my hands into the tabletop here, and I'm going to move my femurs first. So I'm taking these femurs towards you. I want to slide as far forward as I can. I'm pushing into the tabletop. I want to keep looking forward. Behind the back of the eyes, we have this beautiful bone called the sphenoid. It's a butterfly-shaped bone. Long story short, this bone connects to all the cranium bones, and on this sphenoid is your pituitary gland, and it's meant to nod. It's not meant to hyper-focus, and it's not meant to grip everything here. I can guide my movement with my eyes. So I don't want to lock in. I just want to kind of make the room soft with my vision, look forward and keep looking forward. I want to slide my feet, my femurs forward, push into my feet and come up. Now, I moved a little further, or I put more weight on my left side, and I'm locking my knees to come up. I just want to be aware. I want to connect with the ground, and the more I feel gravity, the more I can let go of the gripping and I can feel proper movement. Now, to get down, we have to back away. I want to go towards my chair here. So everybody always tells you to suck in the belly, squeeze the glutes, lift up, do something crazy to sit down or to squat. We also don't want to stick our bum out. I want to feel the femurs. So this is the way movement happens. In natural movement, if I was not thinking about standing or sitting, I would not grip. So when I ask you to connect and stay focused to the opportunities of getting up and down, I don't want you to think about all day you have to put in an extra effort to sit and stand. I just want you to be aware. And to sit and stand, I want to make space in my hips and my back. So these big, gigantic femurs are going to start the movement going down. So they just start. I'm connected to the ground, and I want to let my feet go, and I sit down. So there was a little bit of momentum, but the momentum started with my femurs. My feet are pressed really far back, but I do have that kind of range of motion. You want to make sure that your feet touch the ground. Now, wherever you feel comfortable, let's again use our hands. And when you're doing this movement, don't feel, you don't want to be scared. First of all, this is a movement thinking about coming off and then coming back. Just try this. Shift your weight to the middle of the feet and the toes. Use your hands and come forward and think about coming off, and feel at this moment where all the work that's happening. You can feel an ease. The body is working together. I feel connected. I'm now using both my right and my left leg, and I want to come back down. So play around here if getting from sit to stand is too difficult right now. There's also, you could hold on to a table and press down onto the table, slide forward, push down on the table, and slowly come back up. I want to go back down again, and I'm going to start with my femurs. It's really tricky. I'm well aware of how tricky it is, because we form habits with our movement, and many of them are subconscious, and I'm trying to bring them to your consciousness. I want to start my movement with the bones. It's one of the trickiest things to say, but if you were playing a sport or just doing a regular activity, you don't grip and tighten and then do the movement. You just do the movement. So my femurs come forward, they slide down, and I follow them. Now I don't want to have them go forward and slowly sit down. So I might hold a tabletop as well if I'm not comfortable. I might put my hands on my thighs, start the movement, sliding down, and sit down. To get back up, I might slide my femurs and come on back up. And just try that a few times. Now remember, if you're not getting up, you're not alone. Don't try to cheat to get up. It's a movement. Anywhere you're at right now is nourishing. So if I was sitting back here and I'm now sitting in my feet and able to move from here, I'm that much more aware of where my body is sitting and where the bones are moving. It does not take long to get to the next stage, but you can't rush it. You can never fool your nervous system. If you don't feel comfortable with a movement, you will not be able to do it, and it's not necessary to do it. Play until you feel good. So I'm going to try this again. I want to slide forward. I'm not going to use my hands now. There's another way to get up. You could use momentum with your hands and reach out to get back up. And I want to look forward, femurs forward, and sit back down. So I slide, come up, slide, and come back down. Both movements, the femurs come forward. I come as far forward as I can get them, and then back down. We can play, so I can change my foot position. I can have one foot in front of the other. Every new movement is a new opportunity to give a different massage. One movement is never the bomb. Do people say that anymore? It's not the best. This is one principle. We want a variety of movements. I want to move my joints, my ligaments, and my tendons in many ways. If I'm really good at a squat, I want to squat 1,000 times differently all day. Well, okay, I don't ever want to squat 1,000 times, but when I sit to stand, if I have to sit to stand 100 times in one day, I want to make them different each time. So one leg is further ahead than the other. I still want to feel my bones. I want them to sink. I want to feel secure. I could sit and stand. I could use my hands. I'm going to slide my femurs and come on up. You can use a little bit of momentum. And now I'm going to bend at the femurs. You have to back up a little because when you go forward with the femurs, the chair is not always there. So from here, I'm going to sit and come right back down. All right, I'm going to switch legs and take that opportunity to play around. I want my feet to come forward, my femurs to move around, and I just want to feel. I want to connect with the earth and connect with the gravitational forces going through my tissue and just move around. So mothers are almost always right, but they were not right when they told us to sit up tall and stay still. Our bodies were meant to move, and we were meant to have two bones connect at a joint space and have them move around. And that's all you're doing right now. You're just moving. And if you are in a meeting situation and this is too much, you can always just play with your foot. I'm getting some good movement here, and most people wouldn't even know that I'm moving around. I don't ever want to sit still. Our body will give us signals, and it will really get stuck in one particular area, and it'll say, could you please move? And we have a tendency in North America to think, oh, that's a bad back, let's avoid it. But what it's really telling us to do is move around on it safely and comfortably until I feel safe. And it just nourishes. I'm sending the tent pole one way, the fabric the other way, and creating all sorts of beautiful fluid. So one more time, I'll slide this way and come on up. And from here, you can back up again and bend your femurs and come down. Excellent. You can change your foot position. You can go wider. So again, one movement is not better than the other. Variety is definitely more enjoyable. We want to, I call it opening up our movement options, but you have choices. So if perhaps my hip was stuck in this position or my ankle, and I felt, oh, I didn't have movement. When I play around here, I'm telling my nervous system that I can move. So I increase my chances. When I start to move, it knows it can go forward and it can participate. If it doesn't participate, something up the chain or lower or on the opposite side has to do the work to get up. All right, one last time. I'm going to take my femurs and just drop them down. Excellent. Now, I'm bringing one foot ahead of the other. You can really notice which side you're more comfortable on. And comfortable does not mean it's your stronger side. It's just more familiar. So when I sit down, I don't square up. I'm not going to square up and then sit down. What we'll generally do is like prop, one leg and slide down and just plop down. Did you notice sitting down is just as challenging as getting up? We take for granted that sitting down, you just let everything go. But if I connect with my feet and I feel my feet and I let all these heavy bones just drop, we call that eccentric movement. And believe it or not, when you feel that new muscle, it's when you relax and you feel connected with gravity and you drop down, those muscles elongate. They're elongating and allowing the heavy bones to be hammocked as you go up and down. Many people will think going upstairs is challenging. Going downstairs properly is a challenge. All right, so let's just play with sit to stand. We definitely don't have to sit to stand evenly. I've said we can go wider legs, and this is a good base of support. If my thigh bones are going this way, I want my thigh bones to go over my feet. So it's almost like a plie here. I'm taking my heavy bones and I'm coming back down. I want to shift my weight from foot to foot. And again, my femurs go out of the socket to start the movement. Ooh, that was almost not there. So remember I said to walk back? I really meant it. What I'd really love for you to understand here, after all the sit to stand we did, and whether you got up or not, just feel the movement and the motion that you have in your hips. And notice that if we lead first with the femurs, there is space in your hip and your low back. If I lead first by pushing my back here, my femurs go in this area here. What I really want to do is make space. I want the joints to open. I want space in, and then I can do it more often throughout the day and energize the body. So I love a chair. You might notice. I don't know why we think it's easy. You can do so much in a chair if you absolutely feel the support of the chair and really connect with your feet and connect with the bones. So I can go one leg and I can start to lunge. I've got this foot facing forward and I have, or not, it's actually facing this way. I'm going to slide my bones. So whatever direction I want to go, this is where I'm going to go, and I just lift myself up. To get back down, I can go one bone and sit back down, or I can take two bones. So you can play around and you drop back down. And of course, you can hold on. You can use a table. Please do. You can use another chair. The more you feel connected to your base of support, the more movements you can get. So you can move around everywhere and feel good. So I'd love to see your sit to stand. In the comments, let me know how you explored this movement throughout this week before we expand onto standing and how many different ways we can stand. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.